Yeah, today wasn't as bad as yesterday, but we went out early this morning to get some of the pipe laid out so we could get
Hmm.
another field irrigated. And I told them I wanted to leave by noon.
Yeah,
'Cause I had other stuff to do, but also because that way we can get in the air conditioning for once.
right?
So, yeah,
Ultimately, to sustain human life, you gotta not spend too long in the heat.
absolutely. And it catches up quicker than the older you get, apparently.
Yeah. Are the pigs in shade today? You
You
talked a
know,
while ago about a pig shade option.
yeah, they're not yet. Well, I mean, there are some little trees out where they're at. We've been adding extra water.
Hmm.
The spot where they're at right now, they've wallowed it out a bunch. So we just
Hmm.
go fill in some holes with water on these hot days like this. Hopefully, I mean, we have a spot for them now that does have a permanent shade for them, which would be a lot easier and it would save us work of having to go pour a bunch of water out on the ground and make a muddy mess for them. But that's what we're doing right now because that's the easiest and that's just what works at the moment.
In the meantime, it's the basic version of the splash pad at the water park, just some
Exactly.
muddy holes.
Yep. That's about right. We have a spot for them that is connected to a field, so we will be able to have them in a permanent kind of a hoop house. And
Uh-huh.
then there's also a field right there, so we can just fence off sections of the field so they can go in and out. They also have permanent water there. So it solves a lot of the logistical issues that were proving to be a little bit more challenging than we had hoped about just putting them out on a pasture, like a completely pasture out by itself with no infrastructure there. Um,
Right. So
so
they would spend time on pasture, but just in this one pasture that's relatively close to the hoop house.
yeah, at least for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for the remainder of the year until we figure something else out. It would be cool to be able to rotate them around. But also, this pasture is big enough. Maybe we end up just calling this the pig pasture and we just
Right.
section that one off and use different portions of that each year. I don't know. We'll see how that kind of all evolves. That's kind of the thinking, at least to get through this year so we
Yeah.
can get them on some good green pasture again because they eat it down pretty good and then it rains and then we get some growth coming back. On these hot days, the big thing is just getting them under a more permanent shelter so that it's just easier on them and easier on us too.
Yeah, ultimately the equation about how to do this in the regenerative way has to take into account the human labor
Exactly.
required. I mean, on paper, it would look great to have them, I imagine, the pigs rotating amongst pastures, but the reality is you want them also to have access to shade for their well-being, for the humane treatment of the animals too. Not every place that they could be has access to shade on a hot day.
Yeah, basically none of them do
Yeah,
as far as the actual fields because all the other years they're fields, and
right.
they're either getting grazed with cows. And we have a big shade structure for the cows, but
Hmm.
those are very, very expensive. And pigs are notoriously hard on things. Like cows, I mean, they might rub against it a little bit, but pigs would figure some way to eat the tires off or something. They are really hard on things. So to spend the kind of money it would take to buy a nice structure like that, it may not be the best money spent on something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Well,
one of the things we've been thinking about, but that you haven't quite got done. Today we did get another field under irrigation again.
great. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Yep. Have a good day.
Stay cool.
Thank you.
Bye.